Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from, everybody. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Going to get started with the live stream here momentarily. We'll give it another 30 seconds to a minute for people to jump on. And if you have anybody that can join last minute, make sure to share the link. I would appreciate it. And let's get the party started here shortly. We'll discuss everybody's thoughts on this. I was very doubtful of it, but we'll hear everybody's thoughts and opinions in the live chat, and we'll get started here in about 30 seconds. I see we have quite a few people joining the live stream. Welcome. If you can smash the like, I would appreciate it. Share the video with anybody that can jump on last minute, and let us know where you're tuning in from. A ton of people joining the live stream. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It is Rod with Pow Group, and this is your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Monday. It's November 27th. It's a date that a lot of us have been anticipating. To be honest, I haven't really been that concerned about it with the whole 90-day thing. I didn't think there was any teeth to it, and I think actually Kim Rivers said a similar thing on an interview. I can't remember where I heard that from, but essentially I was very, very doubtful. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's two government agencies in the U.S., and the U.S. is super slow moving. So I made some posts about this today on X, but curious what everybody thinks in the comment section. Obviously, today was the 90th day. I wasn't really tracking it. Like I said, I didn't think it had that much teeth to it. So, and to be quite frank, I don't really care when they come out with it, right? Like, it's not, my MJ portfolio is not dependent on the day that it gets rescheduled, right? It's just that it gets rescheduled eventually before I die. So before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, help support me and the channel. I would appreciate it. And tick the bell, all that good stuff. Subscribe, and you'll be notified on any future videos or whenever I go live. So like I said, in this video, we're going to be discussing the true or false narrative, whether or not the DEA is going to come back with a recommendation to HHS's Schedule 3 recommendation, a response to that. And today marks the 90th day. So I did make a post on X about this, and I had the days mixed up. I went and I looked at my video when I did that HHS video, and I saw August 31st, and then I counted 90 days, and then, of course, it wasn't actually the 31st. It was the day before. It was a couple days before that they sent the letter. HHS did. So it was a little bit off, but today is the 90th day, and we haven't had anything, so pretty much a guarantee that it was false, right? So we're going to be discussing all of that and more. And then make sure to follow us on X, which is formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So this is the post I made earlier today. HHS Schedule 3 recommendation was August 31st. So 90 days from that is Wednesday. And like I said, I mixed it up. I just went to my video, and I thought it was that day, but my memory slipped, and I remember that the letter actually got sent out a couple days before. So, but this is still pertinent. So I said, I'm not in the camp that they must respond within 90 days. Remember, these are two government agencies, and the U.S. government especially is super slow moving. I also don't believe there's any consequences or repercussions if they don't respond within 90 days. And everybody let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on this, because there's a lot of conflicting information. There was a bunch of people saying that it was 90 days, and then there was I think it was an echelon report. And then, you know, there was a couple other YouTubers and whatnot that were saying that it was 90 days. And then a bunch of people were saying no. Like, my thought process was, if it actually was 90 days, we just had earnings season and whatnot. And we have tons of conference calls, tons of earnings calls, tons of, you know, interviews and things like that as MJ starts to heat up after this monumental HHS recommendation. Don't you think that these companies would have lawyers? Don't you think that these companies would have looked into it? And don't you think we would have heard it from a CEO or a CFO or somebody from the board or somebody in an interview saying, yeah, they have 90 days? Like, the fact that we didn't get that alone made me skeptical, right? But again, at the end of the day, I don't really care, right? It's like I say to people all the time, if you are beating yourself up from not buying a stock before a big news event, That's like getting mad at yourself for not picking the right lottery numbers, right? It's like, you're not a wizard. You don't have a crystal ball. How do you know, right? So my game plan, right? And this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment, informational purposes only. Everybody should do their own research and not buy anything because of anything that I write or anything that I say. But, my game plan is not dependent on rescheduling, right? As long as I don't die before they reschedule and legalize, that's what my game plan is, right? So I'm buying low and I'm dollar cost averaging. If we drop to new lows, I'll buy more. But my bags are packed in MJ land right now. And if it takes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, I don't care, because it's all money that I don't need right now. It's on the side. It's just money that I don't need. I didn't invest any more than I'm willing to lose. Not that I think I'm going to lose it all, but it's money that I can let sit. And I have in a short-term account. I have in a long-term account. The long-term I will not sell until the U.S. federally legalizes it, adult use at the federal level. And then I have a short-term account with the same stocks, right? And I have profit-taking levels, right? So I have targets and take profit levels. So, for example, Tilray, my biggest holding. If you haven't seen my entire MJ portfolio with percentage breakdown, you can check out that video. But Tilray is my biggest holding, and that stock I won't sell a single share until at least $10 in my short-term account. My long-term account, I won't sell it until the U.S. legalizes. End of story. In the shorter-term account, I'll take some profit at $10, some at 15, some 20, 25, 30, right? But majority I'll be holding until the U.S. legalizes. But in my long-term account, it's a lot less money, right? So again, there was no real repercussions or consequences. And like you said, don't you think we would have heard this from analysts or all these MSOs or even the LPs? Like, it's not so much beneficial for the LPs, but MSOs. So that was my thought process there. Let me know if you agree, disagree. But lots of conflicting info about this. All eyes on MJ this week, though. Realistically, I think there's a slight chance we get a response from the DEA and approval by year's end, but I'm not suspecting it to be, hang on a second. And approval by year's end, but I'm suspecting it will be in Q1 of 2024 as the most likely scenario. Okay. And then I just posted like a little over an hour ago. I said, correction, 90 days is today. It was August 29th that HHS sent the letter. It was made public on the 31st. We'll post a video on this later today. And this is that video. So if you go, there was an MJ Biz daily article. So once MJ enemy DEA now key to rescheduling. So on August 29th, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, responded to President Joe Biden's October 2022 call for the federal review of MJ scheduling with a revolutionary pronouncement that the drug should be reclassified as Schedule 3 controlled substance, which would remove 280E. And then the Hill also reported on it. Following the data and science, HHS has expeditiously responded to President Biden's directive to HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra and provided its scheduling recommendation for MJ to the DEA on August 29, 2023, an HHS spokesperson said. So again, if you count 90 days from August 29th, and an easy way to do that is just go to Google. What is 90 days from August 29th? Monday, November 27th. I heard some people say that they were counting on the calendar. I was like, why would you do that when you have ChatGPT and Google? And then everybody was saying, and then there was a bunch of speculation. Oh, does it include weekends? Does it include holidays? Right? Like, again, like that's why I just didn't think any of this made any sense. And even if it did, there was no repercussion. Like, it's two government agencies of the U.S. They'll do whatever they want. And if there's laws, they'll just change the laws, right? If they have to, because that's just how the world works, right? Especially in the U.S. But this is one of the main posts. So this got 13.7K views. Like I said, there was a bunch of YouTubers that were saying it, some that were doubting it. So DNBC Live is the handle here. He actually posted it, or she, on August 31st, 2023, on the day that I made that video and the public was made aware. He said 90 days, he or she said, and this, if this is accurate, we're looking at a final decision this year, which is in line with what people involved in discussions have said. And that's something I've been saying for a while now, that I expect, based on the charts, it's looking like a massive end-of-year rally. But the administration in the U.S. didn't want to do it in an election year, apparently. So this is the article here. And like I said, the source is Echelon Capital Markets. And once the Attorney General issues an interim final rule, there is an indefinite period allowed to collect commentary and to hold hearings on the interim final ruling. This means the timeline between the interim decision and the final effective decision is unclear. However, we still believe the process is on track with our initial guess made in October 2022 that this administration review could reach a final effective decision by mid or late 2024. Keep in mind, we still have tax loss harvesting and selling going on at the end of the year. I don't think there will be that much tax loss selling and harvesting because most people probably already took it last year. And then there's also depends on the area that you're in, the part of the world you're in, but there's some rules and regulations. You can only buy it back after 30 days or something like that as well. So, but I'm in the camp of thinking we're very, very close to a bottom. We're more than likely going to get Florida on the ballot for 2024, Ohio, right? We have Pennsylvania, Germany. There's some news today with regards to that. There was a settlement in New York that was blocking a lot of the licenses. So things are happening, and we could see Florida on the ballot. The MJ Act up for review here in Canada. There's a petition to increase the milligrams here from 10 to 100, and who knows what else could come down the pipeline, right? And then obviously rescheduling, safe banking, uplisting the NYSE and the NASDAQ. There's never been a better time. And again, who cares if it's 5 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? We've been waiting this long. We've been in the most brutal bear market for the last 3 years. Who cares if we have to wait another 6 months to a year or 2 years or even 3 more years, right? It is what it is. This is only going to ever happen once. We need to respect that, things don't happen overnight. This isn't get rich quick. And the stock market is a mechanism from transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. So which one are you? Are you impatient or are you patient, right? It's very simple, right? The markets are designed to make you feel that way, but at the end of the day, it's super simple, right? My thesis is not, my game plan, my strategy does not factor in time, because that's the only thing that we can't predict. Find me anybody that can predict time and the future, and we'd all be millionaires, months ago, years ago, decades ago, right? So here was another part of it here. So if the Secretary of Health and Human Services recommends that the Attorney General control the drug in Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pursuant to the subsections A and B, the Attorney General shall, not later than 90 days after the date described in paragraph 2, issue an interim final rule controlling the drug in accordance with such subsections in section 812B of this title, using the procedures in the paragraph. So it appears that the Attorney General has 90 days to arrive at an interim decision. So notification of the Secretary of HHS has approved an application under the Federal Food and Drug Cosmetic Act. We do not believe the latter is applicable in this case. So it was the 90-day period shall start 1, the day the Attorney General receives the scientific and medical evaluation and scheduling recommendation, or 2, the date that the Attorney General receives notification of the Secretary of HHS has approved the application under federal food. Okay, so we do not believe that the latter is applicable in this case, so number 2. As such, and given in this letter, is the formal rescheduling request. It appears that the Attorney General has 90 days to arrive at an interim decision. We therefore expect to hear a statement from the DEA or the Attorney General before year-end 2023. Okay, so again, it's just very vague, and again, there's no if it would have been true, we should have seen somebody talking about it, either a CFO, CEO, some kind of conference call or interview or something like that, right? But yeah. So I'm just going through here, they go just into some details. What's the source? It was Echelon. And then I believe there's a 60-day period after the AG, Attorney General, receives it from DEA, so 90 plus 60. So, people are just complete speculation, right? There's no clear cut, and it doesn't matter. It's probably, like I said, I think there's a slight chance we could get it rescheduled, or a response from the DEA about rescheduling recommendation before the end of the year, but I think it's most likely in Q1 of 2024, and then I think it could be enacted, right? Then it still has to get sign off from the DOJ and then go through a comment and get amended, and potentially other red tape and regulatory hoops that it'll have to jump through. I think maybe late 2024 it gets rescheduled, or early 2025. That will remove 280E overnight. But yeah, let me know what everybody thinks of this in the comment section or in the live chat. There was a couple things, I made some notes in the community as well, the POW Group private community. I just wanted to see that. And then, yeah, some other people were saying, on some forums that the DEA, it did not say that the DEA had 90 days. It said that the 90-day period was for the Attorney General to issue rules relative to enforcement. So, yeah, it's, like I said, there's a lot of speculation. It wasn't clearly written. And like I said, today's the 90th day. And then, you know, even if we count today the 90th day, then it's like, oh, well, did they include weekends? Are they talking about, you know, weekends? Are they talking about holidays, right? So there's just even more speculation that continues to mount. So again, that's why I never really covered it too much or really cared too much, is because it doesn't apply to my game plan at all. And again, the stock market is a mechanism for transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. So when I see all this stuff, right, when I see all this stuff here, like everybody freaking out, going on, like, is it true? Is it not true? That tells me that there's a bunch of very impatient people, right? So don't let that be you, right? You want to be patient. You want to be level-headed, and it doesn't matter. Again, if you're in MJ, it's only ever going to be legalized once. This is medicine of the future, right? And it's an amazing industry. It's an amazing plant, and this is truly a generational, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we have on our hands right now. So do not F it up. I heard somebody else say that about a crypto. He's like, this is literally the biggest transfer of wealth ever. So do not, I think it was Raoul Pal. And yeah, I will echo Raoul Pal's comments about MJ. Do not F this up. He said it, and he actually used the F word, but he said it multiple times, and I will say it multiple times. Do not F this up, because you have emotions, right? That's what you should leave at the door. If you're going to put any $1 into MJ, you need to leave the emotions at the door. So we'll jump into the chat, see what everybody has to say. Hope and pray. Yeah, like I said, it's not looking good, because today is the 90th day, and then I know someone's going to say, oh, it didn't include weekends. It was business days. And then you're like, okay. You know, and you know, people just want to seem smart. People just want to seem right. And, you know, I'm not in the prediction game. I'll look at the chart and I'll say, like, oh, price, you know, based on, you know, sometimes I say price prediction, but that just means like what the charts are saying. It's not what I'm saying, right? I'm looking at the charts, and historically based on data and probabilities and odds and what these patterns mean, bullish or bearish. And, you know, is there multiple confluences? Is, you know, 8 out of 10 indicators saying we're going to $100 from $50 on a stock, or 8 out of those 10 indicators saying we're going to $25 from $50, right? If 8 out of 10 indicators, then I'm going to say, you know, my thought, and, you know, the charts are saying prices could go to $25 if they're all saying bearish. If it's the same bullish, then I'm going to say 100, right? But it's not me just coming on here and saying, oh, you know, this is going to this. I have something to back it up, and there's a reason why I say that, right? But yeah, today is the 90th day from the HHS letter and recommendation. So hasn't happened. It is 6:48 Eastern time. I can't see it happening. I mean, maybe, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing behind that. And again, what kind of consequence would they have if they didn't do it, right? There's nothing, right? I don't know. I kind of doubt that, to be honest. I feel that they will come up with an excuse and start their own countdown whenever they want to. Yeah, exactly. It's the U.S. government. They'll do whatever they want. And if there was a draconian law or something like that was created, they'll just change it. Right? Like, it's the U.S. government. Miami, Florida. Welcome, welcome. Love Miami. Hello from Cleveland. Hello, Chadwick. Bro, I lost 70K on Hexo, as you had a lot of hopes on Hexo. Well, I will say sorry for your loss. You only sell if you only lock in realize a loss if you sell. But it actually didn't go bankrupt or anything. It transitioned into Tilray shares. So that right there became that. So I'm still holding my Hexo shares. They're now Tilray shares, and it's the best MJ company on the planet. And yeah, should be. But yeah, sorry you're down 70K. I know some people that are down, like there was someone told me they were down 250K on Tilray long before they acquired Hexo. And so if you have if you lost $70,000, what I always say is never invest any more than you're willing to lose, the golden rule. And never invest any more than 10% into one asset class, right? Into one sector. So if you invested $70,000 Do you have a net worth of at least 700,000? Because if you don't have $700,000 net worth, I've always been saying do not, and again, this isn't financial advice, it's just my own thoughts and opinions. I said I would never invest any more than 10% of my money or net worth into one asset class, let alone one MJ stock. So if you're down $70,000, I hope if you're listening to me, and I tell you not to buy anything based on anything I say, right? This is not financial advice. It literally says it right there on every video. If you don't have a $700,000 net worth, then you broke the golden rule more than likely. $70,000, I couldn't imagine investing $70,000 into one MJ stock. I wouldn't do that. And my net worth at one point was worth $700,000, at the peak of the MJ bull market last time. And it's not too far off from that right now. So I would never, ever put that much into one MJ stock. You don't need to, right? It's like I see tons of people doing that with crypto as well. Like if you put $1,000 into Dogecoin, a year and a half later, it'd be worth $500,000, right? So for every $1,000 you put in, it'd be worth $500,000. It's like, you don't need to invest your whole life savings. I knew one guy, his dad was down, I can't remember who it was now. It was a lot. I think it was like 700,000 or like $500,000 on T-God or something. And there was a bunch of other people in T-God that lost like hundreds of thousands. And then, one guy told me he's down like $250,000 on Tilray. It's like, whoa, that's a lot. But yeah, definitely sorry for your loss. But yeah, all MJ's down 80, 90+%. Just look at any MJ chart. North Carolina, welcome. That's why now I don't listen to known YouTubers. Yeah, you should have never in the first place, actually. That's definitely a bad... Stop with all your BS? Okay. No problem. We'll just ban you. Hang on a second. Oh, the ban button's not working today. I'll have to ban you later. Okay, no worries. Then leave at way of living. We don't need negativity on here. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm not even going to pay attention to nonsense. That was your choice. Yeah, you hit that. Exactly. MJ is going up. Tilray. Get Tilray and be patient. Yeah, Hexo, Tilray, Redican, Afria, best MJ company in the world. I think they will do it when people least expect it. Yeah, I agree. Who knows? Maybe we'll get it near the holidays and we'll get a nice holiday surprise. I effed it up by not selling. I'm not sure when, but medicine of the future, you bet. When the U.S. goes into a major recession / depression, well, I think we're already in a recession. It's just they're artificially, they're pulling numbers out of a hat. They're omitting certain things, and yeah, I think we're definitely in a recession. Like Black Friday and all that stuff, they're using that as like, oh, look, this. I don't think the labor market's as strong as it is. It's mostly people getting a second or third job, not people getting new jobs, and that's not healthy. That's very unhealthy. People have to get 2 or 3 jobs. That's bad. And then all these sales and holidays. Like wait until after the holidays. It's going to be bad. Everybody's going to be all drained from Christmas and the holidays. It's going to be really bad. So they'll need extra tax revenue. The dog's barking in the background there. They'll need extra tax revenue when it comes to health versus tax revenue. What will they choose? Yep. I mean, they allow alcohol. Alcohol is poison. Tobacco is poison. And yeah, MJ is actual medicine. It has medical benefits. So it'll create jobs, it'll create tax revenue. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's gonna be on the major spotlight. Don't be sorry to that dude. He is ignorant and wants to blame his failure on somebody else. Yeah, it's sad, really, Jamlosi. I definitely feel bad for people that are down, but we know what they will choose, by the way. Absolutely. Yeah, unfortunately, some people are just sour grapes, and yeah. I changed the comments on the channel so that I have to approve all comments. Just because, there's tons of trolls out there and people like Way of Living. that just don't use logic and would rather blame somebody. So second to Tilray, what about Green Thumb or Verano? Yep, I like, you can check out my video. Like I said, I do a my top five MJ holdings, and then I do another video, my entire MJ portfolio with percentages breakdown. My top ones are Tilray and Cureleaf. But I do own Green Thumb. I don't own any Verano right now, but I own MSOS, the ETF, so it indirectly would own those. But yeah, I think Green Thumb is great, and Verano. But yeah, I've got like 15 or something like that different MJ stocks at the moment, and I'm hoping that MJ kind of remains low until January 1st, because I'm Canadian, and us Canadians, we get $6,500, I think it's going to be, additional contribution room to our tax-free savings account, so that grows tax-free. So everything that I put into my TFSA, when I sell it, don't have to pay any tax on it, right? It's after tax dollars. So, and you're allowed a certain amount. So if it stays low until into January, I mean, even if MJ goes up 100%, 200, 300% from current levels, it's still going to be super low compared to where it was in February 2021. So I'm just looking forward to getting that extra contribution room to put it into my TFSA. And I'm going to be looking to buy a lot more MSOs, because when I was buying for the last year or two, a lot of the MSOs were holding up better than the LPs, the licensed producers in Canada. And then the multi-state operators, the MSOs in the US, were kind of trending down, but they were laggards, right? And the whole sector moves together, not down to the second, the day, the minute, but on a monthly and a yearly basis, they usually follow each other, right? So when Canadian MJ was down like 70, 80, 90%, US MJ was only down like 50 or 60%. So I was kind of being very patient, because I figured, you know, they're probably going to drop down around that 80, 90% mark. And that's exactly what happened. If you bring up, say, example for Trulieve, if we go from the high back here, so Trulieve went down 93%, right? So when it was here, I was like, no, I still can't buy it, right? Like we broke the monthly downtrend here with lower highs and lower lows, and we broke the downtrend. I was like, no, I still can't buy it here, because, you know, a lot of MJ in Canada is down like over 90%, and Trulieve was down over 83% at that point. And I was still reluctant. I still don't own any Trulieve, but I did buy some GTII. But GTII actually is holding up better than a lot of other names. From its high to the low there, it was down. It's now down 82%. But again, right here, I was tempted to buy it there at $10 support, and then it went down to $8.62, right? And again, just following the rest of the sector. But now would be a really good opportunity to buy it, in my opinion. We're looking for a monthly higher low and a monthly trend change. We have our low, high, higher low. If we break 1694, we're back in a monthly uptrend with a higher high. So low, high, higher low, and higher high. I'll bring up CGC to kind of give you, I posted this in the Pal Group private community today for Pal Group private members. If you look at the hourly chart, I drew this example. So you have your low, high, higher low, higher high, uptrend. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, downtrend, right? And then you can see that very clearly. So like I said, a lot of MJ, and then even if we bring up like MSOS, right? The ETF that tracks them all in the, tracks all the major names in the US, down over 90%. So again, most names were down 80, 90% plus, and that's why I was being very patient on US MJ. I learned my lesson with Canadian MJ, and the sectors move together. Same thing happens in crypto, right? When you enter a bear market, pretty much all cryptos drop 90+%. Same thing with MJ. Eventually that'll be a thing of the past. We won't drop that much once the market caps and valuations get too high. Like imagine Amazon dropping 90+%. Like it's just, it'd take like the Armageddon, right? Like the financial markets would have to like be destroyed. But that being said, everybody thinks MJ's volatile. Look at Netflix. It went from $700 to 162 in 182 days. So in 6 months, it dropped like almost 80%. Went from monthly overbought to monthly oversold. So again, that's why if you know nothing about technical analysis and you just go to indicators, prop in RSI, Relative Strength Index, and you only look to sell or just sit on the sidelines when we're overbought and then buy when we're down here towards oversold, you do better than 99% of retail traders out there. So again, if you didn't have any shares right here, either sit on the sidelines, do nothing, wait for a dip, or if you do have shares, again, not financial advice though, for the way of livings out there, then you may want to sell it because we're oversold and we're overbought and we're at an all-time high. And then we came down and we hit monthly oversold. That would have been a great time to buy it. If you bought it there at monthly oversold, you're up 200%, right? So it's not just MJ that's volatile, right? You could have invested $70,000 into this thing and been down 80% in 6 months. So everything's risky. But for damn sure, it was not my fault. You hit the buy button. Everybody hits the buy button. Like, I don't blame somebody when I'm down on my investments, right? I bought it. No one hit the buy button for me. Oh, I watched a video on YouTube and I bought something. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why would you ever buy anything without looking into it yourself? Or because anybody said something? Like, that's literally the most delinquent degen move ever. So, feel bad, but I don't feel bad because you broke the golden rule and you didn't do what you were supposed to do, which is just basic 101, right? Also, today's the last day for 10% off. If you go to powmerch.ca, you can use code POWBLACK. You'll get 10% off your order. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Congrats again to Henry Lopez for winning the free hat as well. I did the giveaway yesterday. But just checking in on the chat here. And if anybody's viewing this after the fact, let me know your thoughts and opinions as well. TFSA is the best thing since sliced bread, indeed. Yeah, absolutely. Still believing on CGC. Yeah, I've got, it's not like a massive part of my portfolio, but I think that it's going to swim long term. And I've got, you know, maybe like, I think it's like somewhere around 10% of my portfolio allocated to it now in my MJ portfolio. Definitely worth the risk, in my opinion. Degens unite. Yeah, exactly. No, I will say that, you know, minus the one odd troll and the one odd person that we get in here, I really do admire the quality of the people. I just can't get over how grateful I am that, you know, how supportive all you guys are. I love each and every one of you who supported me along the way, and you know, don't try to blame me for something. This is literally just my own game plan, right? I'm not coming on here. I used to work for Invesco, who is, you know, the QQQ, the tech sector ETF. Invesco makes that, and I used to work for Invesco. I was like one exam away from becoming a financial advisor, and I was like, wow, it's way too much stress just to manage my own money, let alone other people's money. So I'd rather teach people how to navigate the markets themselves, but this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and let that be a lesson to everybody that if you buy something, buy it because you bought it and you've done hours of research on it and diligence, right? And you never lose unless you sell. So, and if you're down on one stock, look at the rest of the sector and see how it's doing. If the rest of the sector is at all-time highs and the stock that you bought's at all-time lows and down and out and you lost a crap ton of money, then okay. But if the whole sector's down, again, IQ of 5 or more would realize that, oh, it's not me. It's not the one company. It's the entire sector. Right? But all right, going to end it there. Hope everyone has a fantastic evening. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate it if you could smash the like. I'll always support you, bro. Appreciate it. It goes both ways, my friend. All right, going to end it there. It's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Have a fantastic evening, everybody, and we'll see you again on the next video. right. For those that stayed on, you'll be happy to know that I used a different browser and I was able to ban our friend Way of Living. So, yeah, he should leave trading. He's emotional. I would agree. Definitely doesn't seem like he's going to make a long-term, he or she. But yeah, hidden from the channel, so we'll never ever hear from that account again, unless, you know, something else, a second account or something like that. But yeah, I don't have time for any of that. All right, love each and every one of you who are supporting me and don't make up lies and try to put me down and literally says not financial advice in every video. So, all right, love each and every one of you who are awesome and nice. But going to end it there, we'll see you on the next video.